This headband is crocheted using herringbone half double crochet. First, let's learn how to make it. First, we yarn over. Then, we put our hook through the stitch. Yarn over and pull up a loop. Now on the hook we have 1, 2, 3 loops. The first one we need to pull through the second one. So we pull it through. Now on the hook we have 2 loops left. So we yarn over and pull our yarn through the 2 loops on the hook. This is the stitch that we will be working with. One more time, yarn over, insert the hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now we have 3 loops on the hook. The first one we need to pull through the second one. Now on the hook we have 2 loops. We yarn over and pull through the 2 loops. One more time, yarn over, insert the hook into the stitch, pull up a loop. We have 3 loops on the hook. The first one we pull through the second one, yarn over and pull it through the 2 loops on the hook. This is the herringbone half double crochet that we will be using. What do we start with? I'm using this yarn. It is 100% acrylic and it is supposed to be used with the sizes 4 and 5 of the hook. Today I will be using the hook number 4. What do we need to start with? We are starting with a chain. First, we need to make a slip knot with our yarn. Like this, let me show it again. You take the yarn like this, you twist it, and with these fingers you take this yarn and we pull. Now we put our hook through the slip knot that we made and pull it to make it tight on the hook. Now we need to make a chain of 20. How do we chain? We yarn over and pull the yarn through the loop on the hook. Yarn over and pull it through the loop. Right now we have 2 chains, we need 20. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right now we have chain 10. We still need 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Here we have a chain of 20 loops. Now we need to start from the 3rd chain on the hook. 1, 2, 3. This chain we will be using. 1, 2, 3. From here we start making our herringbone half double crochets. Yarn over, insert the hook into the 3rd chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull the first loop through the 2nd loop on the hook, yarn over and pull it through the 2 loops. Again, yarn over, insert the hook in the next chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, the first loop through the 2nd loop, yarn over and pull it through the 2 loops. Look, we made 1, 2 stitches, but this chain that was before them is counted as a first stitch. That's why I want to put a marker in it, so that we know that this is our first stitch of this round. So basically right now we have 1, 2, 3 stitches. We need to make our herringbone half double crochets in each chain until the end, and we will have a round of 19 stitches. Right now we have 19 stitches, 18 stitches that we crocheted, and 19th is our chain that we marked. So in the beginning we had 20 chains, and in the end we got 19 stitches. In the end of every round we need to make a chain. So we chain 1 and turn our project, and start the next round the same way with the same stitches. Yarn over, insert the hook into the first stitch, pull up a loop, the first loop through the second, yarn over and pull it through the 2 loops. This is our first stitch of the round. That is why I will put a marker in it, so that I don't forget that this was the first stitch. If you don't have markers, you can use whatever you want, for example, a piece of yarn of a different color. But I really recommend you to mark the first stitch and the last stitch of every round, so that you don't accidentally add or subtract some stitches, so that the whole length of your headband has the same width. Also here I want to emphasize that when you insert the hook through the stitch, you need to go underneath the both loops. So we continue crocheting until the end of the row. In the row we will have 19 stitches. Right now we have 19 stitches. Don't forget to chain 1, then we turn the project and continue crocheting the next round. Yarn over, insert the hook in the first stitch, pull up a loop, the first loop through the second, yarn over and pull it through the 2 loops. This is our first stitch. I will mark it. And we continue crocheting this row. In the end we will have 19 stitches. The last stitch of the row, this one that has a marker, almost all of the time is not that visible. It's not that easy to spot. This is why I recommend to mark the first stitch and the last stitch of the row. So we took the marker off, crochet the last stitch of the row, and don't forget our chain 1, turn the project and continue the same way, crochet rounds. The rounds repeat themselves. It's always 19 herringbone half double crochets, chain 1, turn the project, 19 stitches, chain 1, turn the project. And we continue like this until we have the length that we need. So now yourself continue crocheting until you have the length. Usually it is about 20 inches, so a little bit less than head circumference. And then I will show you what to do next. Here I have the length that I need. For me it's about 20 inches. So what do? We leave a long tail to then seam our headband to sew it together. So now we need to seam these 2 sides. Here we had a tail, so we just pull it through the stitch, just like that. Then put it through the needle and take the side where we just finished our last row, fold it in half. Now we need to sew together all of these stitches, leaving only this one untouched. So we insert the needle in this stitch and the parallel one and pull the yarn. So we are sewing together or seaming the first 9 stitches and the last 9 stitches of that row. Put the needle in the second stitch and in the second on the other side and pull the yarn like this, seaming our 2 sides. Third and the third one on the other side and pull the yarn. Fourth together with the fourth parallel one and pull the yarn. Like this we're seaming our 2 sides. So what do we do basically? We put the needle under the 2 loops of the stitch on one side and under the 2 loops on the stitch of the parallel side and sew it together and continue. 6, 7, 8. Now we have 3 stitches left, 1, 2, 3. Insert it in the 9th here and 9th there. Pull the yarn. And we have 1 stitch left that we don't work with now. To this stitch we will be seaming the other side of our project. We don't twist our project. It lays like this, straight. We take the side where we had our first row, first stitch to the stitch that we left. Look, the project we don't twist, everything is laying straight. So we put the needle through the first stitch of our first row, the one that we started from, and through that stitch that we left untouched in our last row. And we seam them together. Now we need to sew 9 next stitches of the first row to the seam that we just made on the last row. So we find the next stitch of the first row and sew it to the seam, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Right now here we have everything seamed. We need to turn this part inside out, wrap the first row like this, and keep seaming on this side now. Let me show you one more time. Here we were just seaming, just sewing together. We turn it inside out, wrap the first row like this, and keep seaming on this side. Overall, we have 9 stitches here to seam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. We just finished seaming. We have 2 threads of yarn here, so we can make a knot to secure our project. And now when we turn it inside out, we have a finished headband. The only thing that we have left is to weave the ends to hide these pieces of yarn. We put the yarn through the ear of the needle and we weave it like this towards one side, then turn it and do the same to the other side, and one more time to that side. We do it so that the thread stays in the project, and again to this side, and just like that we weaved our ends. Now we can just cut it. The same thing we do with the other piece of yarn. So now you ended up with this headband. It's ready. This is how you make it. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and don't forget to like it.